Veterans who took part in British nuclear weapons testing in the 1950s and 60s are today calling for a new fast-tracked independent inquiry. Some 25,000 armed forces personnel were involved, and many of them say they were used as human guinea pigs and have suffered serious medical consequences.
Well, Andy Burnham has repeatedly backed their cause in the past, and campaigners now want him to deliver on his promise as Prime Minister. Ollie Constable has the story.
Off Christmas Island came a still more spectacular demonstration of military power.
They witnessed huge nuclear bombs being detonated in the Pacific as part of government tests during the 1950s and 60s. But their safety equipment and protocols at the time to protect them against the effects of the blast were wholly inadequate.
You would never, ever be able to describe the full depth of this white flash and the intensity of the white flash. When the fist pushed into my eyes, I could see every bone, every bloodline, every sinew, like a living X-ray.
In September last year, a BBC Breakfast special heard from veterans about what they and 25,000 others experienced during their roles in the armed forces.
We didn't realise what we were subjected to at the time. We would like to get compensation. We are not freeloaders. We served our country and we were subjected to evil.
We were human guinea pigs. First of all, they hadn't done a proper job in making sure that we were safe. I sat 20 miles from the centre of an atomic explosion with a pair of trousers and a top on and some sunglasses.
Many of those involved, who called themselves lab rats because of the way they felt they were treated, believe the nuclear tests have caused serious, long-term health issues. Now they want the new government to commit to a special tribunal, using the now-passed Hillsborough law to get answers quickly. Before becoming Prime Minister, Andy Burnham backed calls for the fast-tracked inquiry.
I think there is a very strong case that there has been a criminal cover-up, but the best thing to do is to give the veterans a time-limited, urgent public inquiry to get to the facts, the truth, make reparation now so that you can look them in the eye and say a wrong was done to you.
Our nuclear test veterans.
He then mentioned this again in his first speech in Parliament earlier this month.
And how in this case have we left those veterans without truth and justice in terms of what happened to them all of those years ago. And I think this House needs to hear their call for a special tribunal, Madam Deputy Speaker.
This is because time is running out, with many of the surviving veterans now in their 70s, 80s or 90s.
I've lost too many friends. And I know who's responsible for it. And, you know, they should stand up and have the guts to stand up and say, OK, we accept responsibility.
In a statement, the Ministry of Defence said, "We will continue to engage with the community in an open, constructive and transparent way to understand their experiences and hear concerns." The veterans and their surviving families now want the new Prime Minister to keep his word so they can get to the truth. Ollie Constable, BBC News.
Well, we're joined now by three men who've been part of that campaign. Owen is here, Captain Terry Hughes and Brian Unthank. Thank you so much all for coming in. And here we are again. It was nearly a year ago, wasn't it, that you sat here and told us about your determination. And back then, you called on Keir Starmer, then Prime Minister, to meet you. And then he told us he'd meet you.
But he didn't.
He didn't meet you. No. So, Terry, how are you feeling this morning? A new Prime Minister who's also been full of praise for your campaign in the past. How confident are you now that Andy Burnham will meet you and take this forward?
Well, I actually feel quite positive. I mean, I've got three visualisations about it. Before he was an MP, he said we were criminalised, and he said a future Prime Minister must stand on the dispatch box and apologise to you all. The second visualisation I've got is when he made that speech in Parliament, not forgetting the veterans. He said we must not do that. And the third time, now he's Prime Minister, let's keep his word, and I hope he'll call for a tribunal, an independent tribunal, to sort it all out.
Alan, you saw a little clip in that film, I think, of I then went to interview Andy Burnham after you were here to follow up with him and hear what he was asking for. And he said those things exactly less than a year ago. You must have hope.
For the first time, we've got a Prime Minister that has really stood with us. Yeah, he's been to our events, he stood with us. I met him after that speech in Parliament, and he said, we need to sort this, we need to do it. So he's our Prime Minister who can actually do this now. He is in place. If he's true about changing the way the UK governs, he needs to do this right now. The special tribunal can be done. We're ready to go. We've already sent him all the details of the special tribunal. He could instigate it right now. You know, we're in Manchester. I don't know where he is today. You know, the number 10 North is right in the corner. He could make a statement right now and say, yes, we're going to do it. We're ready to go. We're launching our campaign today to do it. We've got a new petition running. Very simple. People just need to go online and go to andykeepyourword.com or .uk, and then they can sign up and support us and help us and really put the pressure on him now. Words are great. Action is what we need.
That picture is powerful as well, of you meeting him in the past. Yeah. And yet I do remember you showing us another picture of you with Keir Starmer in the past. Yes. I guess when you become Prime Minister, there are lots of people banging on the door, aren't there, saying, what about us? You backed us, you know, and he's got a lot of things to deal with. How do you cut through and make sure you are heard?
So we met him after he'd made the speech with part of Hillsborough Law.
Last week? The week before he became Prime Minister.
Yeah, before he became Prime Minister. And we said to him, don't forget us. As soon as you step over that into that different world of becoming Prime Minister, we have to be...
And what did he say?
He said, we have to sort this. We have to sort this, and we need to be all over this. And I said to him, we need to sort it quickly. We've wasted another year. These guys don't have the years in them, unfortunately. We cannot keep it wasting those years. We have to do it now. And he could instigate it now. We're ready to go. He could start the process off.
Brian, so let's take this back a little bit. Can you tell us how what you went through has impacted you over these last decades?
Over the years, I was there. I joined it when I was 19 years old. I had my 20th birthday on Christmas Island. Shortly after I came back from the tests, I lost all my teeth, all in one go. So I've had false teeth since the age of 20. Since then, I've got a long list.
OK.
I've had 5 doses of pneumonia, which I wasn't expected to survive. I've had 2 heart attacks, which I wasn't survive. I've got bladder cancer for the 4th time. I've got a rare prostate cancer. I'm doing well.
A lot.
You know, I'm 88 and a half. I'm older than him. I do love to rub with Terry. You know, we have a lot of fun. And a lot of my family have been impacted with different illnesses. And the government keeps saying, you weren't harmed in any way. If I started reeling off, I'd be taken off the rest of your programme. Just to say that my youngest granddaughter has now got chalk teeth. Now, if you remember the Chernobyl incident, one of the dentists who was close to that realised that a lot of the children in his area were getting chalk teeth. So he went to the different countries in the Eastern European area and found out a lot of their children were getting chalk teeth. And as the wind has blown the nuclear stuff over to England, our dentists keep saying, it's got nothing to do with it, just go away, stop being neurotics. It's not fair. We know what is happening. We know that when I had my 98 skin cancers, I'd already had about 45, and I went to UCLH in London, and I met Dr. Conal Perrett. He's a consultant dermatologist there, and he asked me why I was getting so many skin cancers. So rare skin cancers as well. I saw, I don't know, I was on Christmas Island. That is it. The ionising radiation is deep inside you. That's what's caused it. Now I'm at 98. In December of last year, I had a skin plant from my hair down to my nose. On the 1st of December, 23 days later, you wouldn't even know that I'd had one.
It's affected the whole of your life.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a grandson at 14 months old, had a black melanoma on his forehead. And they said, oh, stop being, to my daughter-in-law, stop being a neurotic mother, go away. And she demanded a punch biopsy done because I said, make sure, because of where I'd been. And they eventually did it and found out that if they hadn't removed that black melanoma, the child would be dead because it had eaten into his brain and gone. But the government said we were safe. No risk, no rigour, no harm done. I dare them to go and do what we did. Sorry, I've taken up too much of the time.
You absolutely haven't. It's really important that you hear your story, and that's what we got you here for today. And Alan, it was your father who was there on Christmas Island. So you would say you're proof of that generational impact of what happened.
Yeah, fortunately my brother died at 31 from major heart problems. My sister was born blind in her left eye, and she's had a heart attack and cancer's removed. I had a cardiac arrest 4 years ago. It runs through the families, our stories, whichever veteran you talk to, the stories are the same. And that's why we need Andy now, who's been so vocal. You saw from your clips, so vocal. Never we've had a Prime Minister that's been so vocal. To now not listen to the MOD, be strong and say, these guys were harmed and the families are still being harmed and we need to sort it.
And Terry, that is the point, isn't it? It's not just your generation, it's the generations that follow. It's
going right through genetics into the descendants. My own son was affected. He had crumbling teeth when he was at land, very asthmatic, he had multiple thrombosis. And the sad thing is he can't have any children. And I've found by my own DNA that I have several mutations going, which went on through radiation. So it's very sad, the whole thing.
And the scientists say that it's going to be in our family's bloodstream for the next 500 years. So by the time that we've gone, nobody's going to be knowing what the diseases, the rare ones, are going to be happening for our descendants in the near future or distant future. They won't realise that it's all down to those nuclear bombs that we were witness to.
It's all the hidden bullets inside which are working away all the time. Yeah.
Brian, Terry, Alan, thank you so much for coming in again.
Well, thank you for having us.
We will keep up to date with any progress in the weeks and months ahead. Thank you
very much. Thank you.
Take care.
What I would really like, sorry if I was speaking, I would like Andy Burnham to, I've been trying to campaign to get a commemorative church service for all the veterans and the families and the descendants who we've lost caused by this fallout. And if we could get it, I would like the BBC to come and photograph it, to put it on camera for posterity.
Well, I'm sure
that
is
is
something
a strong wish of mine.
Here at BBC Breakfast would be there.
I went to Westminster Abbey, I phoned St Thomas in the Field and they blanked me.
Okay.
They said, send us an email, which I did. Okay. Well, my son did it for me. And that was 9 months ago. And guess what? No reply. But thank you for allowing us to be here.
Well, you've said it out loud on BBC One. Let's see what happens next.
See what happens.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, gents.
All the best, guys.
Great to have you here.